what is the topic for this week?
This week, it is the best character from a different universe.
Hmm.
Now, there is a very specific rule here because there is a very obvious winner.
Well, in our eyes, at least, I
Yeah,
know for a fact that some people will argue, no, it's definitely not. But yeah, in our eyes, there's
every
only one.
right. If 83% would win it, I can guarantee that 99% would win it if any of us chose hit.
Yeah.
So the big rule here is it is any character from a different universe other than hit.
Yeah.
He is a highly popular character,
Hmm.
especially due to being voiced by the mighty Matthew Mercer.
Hmm.
He's such a very popular voice actor. So myself and Heeroh both agreed that he will not be chosen for the purposes of this week's Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I previously argued that he had the coolest attack as well, so he would definitely be my pick, and he has potential, like, to be the strongest out of everyone. He just couldn't kill people in the tournament, so yeah, we don't even need to really explain why we think Hit is the best character from a different universe. But there's just a few quick points anyway.
Yeah. For a little bit behind the scenes for those of you that watch, basically how we come up with our Hall of Fame is we just have a quick chat, and basically the first was to throw a topic out there that we think, yeah, that'll do. We go with. So basically I chucked it out there, and then I thought, actually, no, let's not do that. And then I thought, no, we'll just do it, just not hit.
Yeah.
So so this week we're gonna go with that, just no hit. So as the winner, you first pick. So go ahead.
I do. So my pick for best character from a different universe that isn't Hit is someone from the same universe as Hit, and that is Kaba. Now, was that your pick?
It wasn't, but I had a feeling you might pick him.
Okay, well, yeah.
Neither of my first pick nor my backup. So
Wow. Okay. Well, I do have a backup as well. That might be your pick, so I'll mention them at the end if you don't pick them. But yeah, Kaba is my pick for best character from a different universe, and that's because I feel like he has the most potential out of any other Universal character for more story. He's already teased a lot of stuff with Vegeta, and it would be good to see him bring Vegeta back to his planet and to meet the other Saiyans that are on his planet. Maybe they'll try to make Vegeta king, or who knows, because Vegeta is by far definitely more powerful than any Saiyans on their planet. So of course they would look up to him, especially after Kaba would say that Vegeta is a prince after all. They would definitely look up to Vegeta, and there's a lot of story potential there. And also the potential of Vegeta and Kaba training together, maybe training with Trunks, since they're, well, I mean, Kaba's definitely older than Trunks, but, you know, as Trunks grows older and Kaba is weaker, maybe, I mean, it's arguable that Kaba and Trunks are on a similar power level, even as Kid Trunks, you know, because Kid Trunks can go Super Saiyan and stuff. Kaba had to learn that. So it's arguable that they're on a similar power level. So to see them two train together, that would be interesting if that's the case. So yeah, there's a lot of story potential there. And I just think he's great. And we didn't really get to see him interact with many other characters apart from Vegeta. Like, that was obviously the main thing that they were trying to do throughout the Universal arc. But, you know, even during other times where he's around the other characters, he doesn't really interact with anyone too much because when he's around, there's also so many other characters around that he doesn't really get a chance to shine too much. So having him interact with Goku just to see the difference, because that doesn't really happen much. See him with Gohan, with Trunks, like I've already mentioned, with Goten. Yeah, who knows? And just to see him again with the other Saiyans on his planet. Like, we do get a brief scene with Kaba and the other Saiyans where he's kind of mentioning the tournament and trying to recruit some other Saiyans to join the Universal team, which doesn't go down too well. But just to see how he is, maybe introduce more Saiyan characters from that planet and, you know, the interactions between him and them. Who knows? But I do think he's the coolest. He has the most potential to grow. And to see him become a fully fledged warrior, since he isn't really, he was kind of weak, if I'm honest. To see him grow, become more powerful, all the training possibilities and everything else. Yeah, I think he's great. And even though he doesn't do too much so far, I think he has the most potential, and that's why I'm picking him for best character and the person I would like to see more of.
I do like Cabba. I think again he's a character mostly with potential.
Mm,
I think that's what under. I think that's the thing about Cabba is a lot of people say he's weak and things like that.
mm,
But I think that's the point with characters in a lot of characters in Dragon Ball is
yeah.
you can't just have a character that's strong. It's about potential. It's about building up your characters.
Mm,
It's like Gohan. That was the point in Gohan.
yep.
You saw him in the start of Z, and you saw him become what he was against Cell.
Mm,
You saw his, and that was one of the best arcs you saw,
mm,
and it was amazing when he did what he did with Cell. Potential is what makes an interesting character, and that's what I like about Cabba is, and that's what I've enjoyed seeing with Vegeta because it's also brought something out in Vegeta. So you've seen an interesting story between the two of them. You've seen an interesting dynamic because I enjoy their dynamic.
yeah.
So I've really enjoyed what I've seen with them, and every time I see them engage, I like what I see when I see them together. I like whenever I see them together.
Mm,
So yeah, it's not just Cabba; it's what I see with him with other characters. So no, I do like Cabba's character as well. So no, I think it's a good pick. Um,
yeah.
so
But
no, yeah,
who is your pick? I'm interested now because you said he wasn't even a backup, so you've obviously got someone in mind. But
it's
who is
not.
it?
My first choice is a little bit of a cheat. I'll be honest.
Hmm.
It is the North Kai of Universe 10. Zamasu, aka Goku Black.
Okay, okay, yeah, okay. Right, I wasn't even thinking about him. I was taking it more into who appeared in the tournament, all those
Yeah,
characters. But yeah,
I
I
won the
guess.
first, but what I did is when I was looking at characters, I looked up all the universes, and then it was
Hmm.
like deities and then mortals, and I was like, oh yeah, there are gods as well.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, it
Yeah.
counts.
And basically, the thing I like about Zamasu is without him, we've got arguably one of the best super arcs.
Yeah.
I would argue he
Hmm.
is him as Goku Black is one of the best villains in Super,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Yep.
Um, his death as well when he is in Zamasu is one of the best deaths in Super.
Hmm.
When Beerus eliminates him
With the
and
Hakai.
the use of Hakai, because not only that, it actually demonstrates the power of the Hakai to
Hmm.
me. I think him as a villain, when he's actually within Goku Black's body, is just it's the sinister, unhinged nature that he has
Hmm.
is very. It is the fact that he's truly convinced that he's performing divine justice, but he's just really sick and twisted.
Hmm.
Basically, you can see this and I think that's really interesting because you can see how unhinged he is as a character, and I think that's really interesting to see in Dragon Ball because I don't think we've really seen that before. Because with the bad guys we've seen previously, you've seen evil
Yeah.
and you've seen sadistic and things like that, but that's just evil.
Yeah.
So like you've got Frieza, who's just a masochist,
Hmm.
but he's well aware of it. He's Frieza. He's just like he just enjoys it. Yeah. You've got characters like Cell who are just evil. They don't care. But with someone like Zamasu, they genuinely believe they're doing what's right,
Hmm.
and they're just genuinely in. And I think that's quite interesting to see that you've got someone who, as a character, is just that unhinged that in a show such as Dragon Ball, to have someone that unhinged is such a interesting dynamic to have, and I think it's really interesting to see. And then the side of move sets they've got as well within the black body set. So you've got like rose
Hmm.
sides and everything like that. I think that when he's within Goku Black, looks fantastic.
Yeah.
the aesthetic as Goku Black is unreal.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm happy to announce you as winner for next week already because Zamasu is going to win. I know that. I know he will because I wasn't even thinking about him, and I know already that he will win. But I can't disagree with anything you're saying. Like
Yeah,
he is cool, and his story was unique. He wasn't evil for being evil. He had a reason for doing well what he thought was right. Um, so it's understandable. And like you mentioned, his arc was one of the best arcs in Super. It is actually my favorite arc in Super. Um, and yeah, him as a villain was great as
I mean,
Zamasu and as Goku Black.
yeah, I mean his reveal is one of the best reveals
Oh
in
yeah,
Dragon Ball.
yeah.
Like that's terrifying, and I mean a lot of people say it's not Zamasu, but that is Zamasu. That is his
Hmm.
character.
It
I
is.
mean Zamasu. It's taken over Goku's body, but it's still Zamasu.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean I love the voice, the mannerisms, everything. I just think it's great. I think it kind of gives you like chills a little bit, and I love him. I
Mm.
love everything about him. And I think I love the aesthetic of him. It's just
Hmm.
fantastic. I think he's absolutely great,
Yeah.
and I think it's just to have a Kai have such a. We've seen Kais since the start of Z as just these peaceful people that like have always just been good and have always just been everything about what's right,
Mm.
and then to have one just totally twist 180 and just to be this unhinged, brutal monster. I mean, the first thing that Zamasu does when he takes over Goku's body is slaughter Chi Chi and Goten.
Yeah. For no
Like,
reason, really.
yeah, like that is not divine justice.
No. Pettiness.
That is yeah, and I think that sort of thing to be so unexpected from a character, especially in something like Super, is just like it just demonstrates that he's such an interesting like it's just such something unexpected from a villain that
Mm.
of his nature where it's like he's so convinced he's presenting justice and shows like I said like his unhinged nature that it's just like he's not just evil.
Yeah.
His own mindset isn't that like we've got, and I think that's interesting because we've always just had bad guys. Yeah,
Mm.
you've had Vegeta. He was back in the Saiyan arc. He was just a bad guy.
Hmm.
We've always just had bad guys. We've never had someone who's always just really like. I can't think of anyone. I don't know if I'm forgetting someone. Like
No,
I don't really think. No,
not really.
I think
No.
we've always just had bad guys. No,
Yeah.
and this is a person who genuinely believes what he's doing is right.
Yeah.
Um, but really, he's just to the degree that psychotic. There, he lost his way.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's just a very interesting dynamic. That combined with all the aesthetics of when he's taken over Goku's body,
Hmm.
and you've got like Rose and things like that, just look fantastic.
Yeah.
He just looks so good. It's just the animations they've done with when he takes over as Black are just unreal.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's going to be tough to argue that Zamasu is the best character from a different universe. Um, because, yes, technically, yes, he is, but also technically he was part of the same universe as Goku and Vegeta and everyone else. And this is just a different timeline of the same universe. Uh, but yeah, I guess it counts. But yeah, it's also going to be hard to argue the fact that Zamasu and Goku Black are the same person, because a lot of people kind of think of them as two different people when it's not. It is just Zamasu in Goku's body. Um,
I
um,
mean, if you think it is cheating,
no, no,
I
no.
am
We will
I
put
am
that as the vote.
I am quite confident
Yeah.
in my second choice.
Okay.
I am pretty confident in my second choice actually as well. If you think it's cheating, I'm quite confident. If you want to, if you want to keep it, if you want to keep it the tournament of powers, if you think
Okay.
it's fairer,
Well,
if you want to
let's.
keep it fair, should we keep it fairer and keep it at the tournament of power?
That's
Because we weren't quite sure of the rules. Shall we keep it tournament of power to keep it fair in the rules?
that's up to you. I'm fine to have it as a Masu if you want, but
No, because it's Goku Black, so it feels a bit unfair. It feels a bit unfair. We'll keep it within the tournament of power.
all right, fine. Well, who was your
Yeah, it
backup
feels a
pick
bit
then?
unfair. Now I'm saying it feels a little unfair, so we'll go with that. Yeah, it feels a little unfair. Now I'm saying it, but can we just agree? Goku Black is really cool.
Yeah, he is definitely 100%. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, my backup was this Chop.
yeah, he was my backup as well. Fair enough. Yeah, but go ahead,
So
explain.
yeah, so Top, since his introduction in the exhibition tournament, has always been a strong contender as an important character from another universe.
Hmm.
He was basically this powerful enemy he was basically hidden in his cloak,
Yeah.
um, as this unknown entity who was guard. He looked like he was almost guarding the gods of destruction.
Hmm.
Um, and then he basically jumps on Goku as the villain and basically stating that you're my enemy now, you're the villain, it's your fault that the tournament of power is going to happen, and I will punish you for this later.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting little dynamic
Yeah.
that's later. And
Goku
yeah,
was
while he finds
definitely
out,
the villain throughout this entire arc.
oh yeah,
The entire thing
100%.
was his fault. But yeah, everyone's like, yeah, I hope Goku wins, but he is the bad guy in this situation. To every other universe,
Yeah,
this is all Goku's fault. Yeah.
100%. It's definitely his fault.
100%.
I mean, Zeno loves him, but it's still definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, he's Captain Ginyu 2.0.
Hmm.
What's not to love about
Mm.
that?
Yeah, with less theatrics, but yeah, he kind of is, I guess. Yeah.
But a bigger mustache.
Indeed.
Well, a mustache, full stop.
No, but
um,
I like his entire arc as well. Like, we get to see part
yeah,
of it. He is the leader of the team. We see
yeah,
how he treats people on his planet when he's organizing the team and stuff. As team leader, we see his progression into a god of destruction, which was kind of unexpected, but it happens throughout the tournament, which is cool. And I guess the reason he was my backup is because I would like to see
yeah.
more. I want to see
That's what
what's
I've got
next.
there.
Yeah.
That's what I've got there. Like when he changed, him changing into a god of destruction was basically it's his changing into a god of destruction was arguably one of the best transformation. It was one of the best design changes
Mm,
that we've seen in Dragon Ball in a long time.
yeah.
I would say it's, in my opinion, the best design change in a character since Perfect Cell. In my opinion,
Ooh, yeah, potentially. I do like a transformation where not like I guess with Super Saiyan, the hair changes color and all the different forms of that. But I do like transformations where the body and the general look completely changes as well, but you can still tell it's them. So yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, their power ups to me, that's not
Mm,
a full design change. Like his entire character changed
hmm.
to me.
Yeah.
Like his just color didn't change. All they just had an aura change, like with Goku and everyone like that. The only thing that changed was their aura.
Mm,
Like his entire body changed. Um, it was the same with Cell. Obviously, he went from semi-perfect to full. His entire body changed.
yeah.
It was the same with Top. Like he got markings and everything like that. Like with Super Saiyan, they're just their body change. They got their aura. And I
Hmm.
would say it's one of the best design changes since like Boo and everything like that. Like there wasn't really anything there for me. Like nothing really. I didn't really care for the changes there. They
Yeah.
didn't really look that impressive. I hadn't really seen anything, and there were no real interesting changes for me throughout the entire tournament of power. Through any of the changes like Brian or anything like that, like I didn't
No.
really care for them. But his was fantastic to me.
Mm,
I really enjoyed it, and it also was quite interesting to see what that he was a power. He was this he was this epitome of justice, and we finally got to see what happens when somebody takes on the power of a destroyer
mhm.
and what it actually does to you. And he became somebody different.
Yeah.
he went from being a justice fighter to torturing Frieza.
Mm.
Yeah. So it shows that you become something different. Yeah. And he enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it
Um,
would be good to see how that continues as well, like because he enjoyed the power, like you mentioned, but to see how he controls that power and how he gets used to it more often, so that
yeah.
because his normal base self, he is fully about justice and pride and all that type of stuff, of course. So it would be good to see him control that so that he can still keep his morals and use that power of destruction in a, I don't want to say peaceful way, but like in a controlled way, so that he
Balance.
doesn't break himself.
Yeah. It's balance.
Yeah.
Well, because to be honest, because when I was thinking about this, is you're supposed to use it properly. You're not supposed to use God of Destruction powers for the sake of destruction,
Mm,
just for the sake of it, because Whis knocked Beerus out for needlessly destroying things too excessively.
mm,
Um, when Beerus ate the wasabi and destroyed 4 planets simultaneously, excessively, Whis knocked him out and
mm.
said, like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Um, so if you just go too far with it, the angels will stop you.
Mm,
So there is a level of control that you have to exercise with it. So being a god of destruction has responsibilities. So obviously, if he manages that with justice, if he uses the god of destruction powers properly, which is probably why he was chosen to do it,
mm.
because he's powerful and because he has sense behind him,
Yeah.
and because he has morals and sense behind him, he's level-headed.
Mm,
Then that balance, if he can find an equilibrium there, then that makes sense.
mm.
He will use those powers properly, and I think that'll be part of his training from the angels, is finding that balance.
Yeah.
And I think if we see more of them in the future, which I would like to, and again we've discussed this, we want to see more of the universes in the future. I think we'll inevitably see more of six, um, but I'd like to see more of there as well. Is it
Yeah.
11? I think they're 11, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll want to bring Jiren back in because Jiren is the big, bad, powerful guy.
Yeah.
Even though we've argued in a previous podcast that Top should have been the main antagonist of the arc. But yeah,
Especially the God of Destruction. Like,
yeah,
for
exactly.
just.
Because he was shown more before the tournament started. He was shown during the tournament, and Jiren was kind of the surprise, powerful guy. Whereas Top's transformation into God of Destruction should have probably been the end all form, which kind of takes out everyone. Um, but yeah, I think we'll probably see more of him, and I agree that this is a good pick. And yeah, I think it will be close because Top was also my backup pick.
Yeah.
So this is
And there was just one other thing which I just absolutely loved, which is where Vegeta tried to call him second place to Jiren, and he
mm,
immediately turned around and said, "Yeah, well, you're second place to Goku. So what are you
oof.
going to do about it?"
Yeah, what a burn.
So I have to give him props for that.
Yeah, of course. But this is going to be an interesting Hall of Fame. I think it might be pretty close because a lot of people do like Kaba, but a lot of people also like Top, and Top is definitely the more powerful of the
Yeah.
two. So it could be interesting, this one.